Once again, got a little echo action. Yep. There it is. Back again, Kip Capley Show with my friends on this beautiful Monday afternoon. I am joined, as always, with the man, the myth, the legend, Lawrence Sutton, and the Giles County Rattlesnake, Chris Morris. Folks, I hope you are ready and strapped in because we always have a good show. We're ready to have another one. How are y'all doing?
Y'all doing awesome.
We're blessed.
Amen.
Great to be here. Great to see that we got some rain.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hope we get a little more.
Hope we get a little more.
Yeah.
That's right.
Shout out to Strikers.
Shout out to Striker Steakhouse, right down the road from us. If you want something good to eat, you need to go to Strikers. Get you some takeout for your family. Go in, have a good meal. Great service, great food. It's the best, I think.
Ate there last Wednesday.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Left here.
I wanted to try to get over here earlier today, but my plans didn't work out.
Didn't work out.
That happens.
I wanted to get some of that fish.
Yeah.
They have great fish.
I'm telling you.
We've got Brother John DeBerry wanting to come on the program, and he's wanting a good place to go eat fish.
Well,
so
we're going to send him to
Strikers.
Strikers. That's right. We're going to take him to Strikers. You're exactly right.
Absolutely.
We let everybody know the day he's coming. We're liable to have church in there.
Yeah, we might. That's exactly right. We just might. But, yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on. State level stuff. And I've had just right off the bat, I've had a lot of people reach out to me and ask me about the federal education dollars and kind of what that means as far as, the House and the Senate have a committee set up to kind of review these federal education dollars. And folks, I'll probably butcher this, but I'm as country as I come, and I'm going to try to explain this to the best of my knowledge because I'm not on the education committee, and thankfully so, because that's not really my wheelhouse.
You're not on any of the subcommittees.
Nope,
So-
and that is by request and design because that is not my wheelhouse.
One thing, when you say your country, are you as country as cornbread?
I'm pretty. Yes, sir. I would think so. I would think I am.
Well, great. We'll accept you. We love you. So
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
lay
I
it on
appreciate
us.
that. So, from my understanding, there's two pots of money, and they equal somewhere between $2 and $3 billion that we receive from the federal government that goes toward our education system. Now, to my knowledge, as we sit here right now, the state of Tennessee has not rejected any money from the federal government. These committees are set up, and I have not heard anything this past week. I haven't heard anything from the committees, but what they're set up to do is to see exactly where these federal education dollars come from the federal government and what they have to go toward. Because obviously what we don't want in the state of Tennessee is Joe Biden's federal government saying, hey, if you don't teach critical race theory, if you don't teach transgender ideology, if you don't teach, you can come up with another one that we don't agree with, you're not going to get this money. Well, as far as I'm concerned, if the federal government says that, then we as a state should say, we're not going to teach that, and you can take that money right on back to D.C.
The other thing I've heard before in the past is that sometimes this money comes with so much strings attached that you might have to spend $105 to get the 100.
Yeah.
So it winds up costing you more money to get the money.
Exactly. Well, and,
You have to pay to play.
That's
right. And we as a state, obviously we fought against transgender ideology and tried to keep it out of schools. Assistant Majority Leader Mark Cochran carried a bill this past session, shout out to him, that basically said that teachers could not be penalized for not using quote, quote, pronouns, the proper pronouns, whatever you want to call for students.
That's violence.
Yeah.
It's violence. If you
Correct.
call somebody that looks like a man and they're
Yes.
actually a girl, well,
Yeah.
that's your fault.
Well, and most people, as far as I know the three of us and several of our other listeners, we're pretty respectful. Thank you, ma'am,
Yeah.
all that stuff. It's just kind of how we do things. So that's what the committees have been set up to do, is to review the money, see where the money's coming from, see the application of the money. We have not rejected any money. Here we are sitting here at Monday at 10 minutes past the hour. And I don't know of any money that's been rejected. I don't think we have, but that's the basis of there's been a lot of stuff in the media about it. Don't listen to it. I'm telling you right now, it's reviewing it and seeing which I think is a good thing.
Absolutely.
You know,
That's the only
we
thing
need
that's a
to
good
do
thing.
that.
I know
We need to do that.
Senator Hensley
shout out
is on
Joey.
one of the.
Yes, he is.
Shout out to Joey. Is on the Education Committee,
He
and
is.
they've been having meetings
Yep.
last week.
Yep, I saw him. I I saw him this past week for a Veterans Day celebration dinner or lunch type situation. Me and him were talking about it, and that was kind of the short and skinny that he gave me. We're just kind of reviewing the money.
We're reviewing and seeing what our options are.
Which I think that's an excellent idea.
And people don't need to listen to the media. Wow.
Ignore the media.
Well, they need one. We will give you the official, true version.
That's right.
Whether it be on the Kip Capley show or Free Speech News,
or the Lawrence County Republican Party show.
Or the Lawrence County Republican Party.
WDXC is where you need to come.
That's right.
WDXC is where you need to get your truth.
And feel free to call in, folks, too. If you got any questions, anything like that, feel free to call in.
Give that number out, Kip.
It's, Lord, that's not good. What is it again? It's 931. That's bad.
Yep. Is it 766-9393?
Yep,
I believe it is.
931-766-9393. I'm going to get my wrist slapped for not knowing the number when it's right behind me. I told you I was country. I ain't paying attention.
The cornbread just burnt.
That's right. The cornbread just burnt in the oven. 766-9393. If you got a question, please call in. We'd love to hear from you.
We'll take your call immediately, too.
Yeah, absolutely will.
Hey, some things just come through, and you just got the email, and I got an email. I just happened to pull something up because I was trying to look something up. And there's a rule that would go into effect that will greatly affect Tennessee, and we've got to sign off on this before midnight tonight, that because we're in the OSHA state plan. You know, Tennessee participates with OSHA, the national organization. Yes, and what the Riding with Biden administration is trying to do, they are proposing a rule that will allow unions to organize easily with our local and state employees.
Yeah, but this is a right-to-work state, though.
Correct. This is right to work, but Tennessee does participate in the OSHA state plan, so this is how they can backdoor everything, and this is how you try to start getting unions. And I'm going to tell you, unions suck. I don't care who out there is listening, unions has destroyed this country. And a lot of people don't understand. You make the big union stewards the rich man. It's sort of like a pyramid scheme.
Rich man north of Richmond.
And you get, that's true. But you give somebody else your voice, and they don't really care. All they're worried about is lining their pockets and their coffers. That's it. So here we go. Biden, this administration has done everything they can to destroy our country.
Yeah.
So is this the email that Uncle Dave sent?
Uncle Dave sent.
Uncle Dave.
Yeah.
Shout out Dave Vance.
Yep.
So Uncle Dave keeps us on top of things, and we need to make sure that Senator Hensley got it, Representative Warner, Representative Doggett need to make sure you got it, and and it gets off into the SEC. Like I said, the cutoff is midnight tonight, and they are apologizing because they just got the info. So
wow, that's normal. Let's put in something so important, and we'll wait till the last minute to give it to you. You had numerous bills happen to you like that this past year, did you not, Kip?
Yeah, I had some big ones.
Yeah,
and it's bad. One thing I wanted to touch on.
I had some 60-page bills that I didn't get till the last 25 minutes.
25 minutes.
That's crazy. That's crazy. There should be a time limit.
Some of them were good, though. But yeah.
But still,
some of them were.
You need to have the opportunity to know what you're voting on.
That's right.
And make sure it's good for your constituents.
That's right.
But something just to touch on the national level that I kind of wanted to get in Friday on our show, and time, like we tell everybody, this is the fastest hour that ever goes. Get on the radio and you'll find out. But listen, folks, you've got to be paying attention. If you'd watched the results from last Tuesday's election, and so many people were confused. There were just certain states like Kentucky, like Virginia, like Mississippi that had elections. Not every state had elections.
That's right.
And everybody was putting, where do we go vote? Where do we go vote?
Which in Mississippi, they don't have early voting.
No.
I wish Tennessee did.
You voting the day of, baby.
I think all states should be that way.
All states should be that way.
You can set it up for 23 hours and 59 minutes and go from midnight 12:01 to 11:59 or whatever. And if you can't find a way to vote during that 24-hour period of time, then it just wasn't that important to you.
That's right.
That's a good point.
I mean, now if somebody's invalid and they need to get somewhere, then yeah, maybe you can take the ballot to
You can have
them.
absentee voting.
You
that
can.
way.
But I mean, as far as this voting and putting it out, and everybody goes and puts their vote in a drop box, or somebody goes and takes a couple of hundred and they're putting them in the drop boxes, like we have seen.
Being a mule.
Yep, like 2,000 mules.
Yeah.
Then you know what? I just have a problem with that.
Well, let me round it back into what I want to talk about. State of Virginia. Let this be an example. Do not let this happen to the great state of Tennessee. Virginia, people think everybody's just going to get out and vote Republican. Okay? We're in a crisis. We're in a crossroad of crisis. And in Virginia, they have 40 state senators.
Okay.
And we have 33.
Yes, sir.
But Virginia has 40. And in the House, Virginia has 100. We have 99. Ain't a whole lot of difference.
No.
But they now control both the Senate and the House.
Talking about the Democrats.
Right, the Democrats. People got out. The Democrats stand united. They stick together like fleas on a dog's back.
They do.
Y'all hear me say this time and time again, where we're too nitpicky, too worried, worried about how somebody's combing their hair, and we don't go
Or how
vote.
they dress.
That's right, how they dress. We got a few idiots out there that like to throw off on how somebody dresses, and people, when I say that, they know exactly who I'm talking about. But they now took control of both the House and Senate because of simply people not getting out there. And then the worst thing, Lawrence, they start jumping up and down. They elect their first transgender to the House legislator in Virginia. They're so happy about the steers and queers. And just like Metro, when they got their transgender. Well, one thing about it, the judge did tell them they'll use the bathroom for the sex they were born in Nashville. So thanks to that judge.
Yeah.
But I just want to point that out, folks. We got 2024 coming up, and we need to get up off of it and go vote.
Here's the situation. And I've said this multiple different times. I've made this publicly known. You know, everybody knows who I'm voting for in the primary. I'm a Donald Trump guy. Just kind of been with him since 16, and he's been my guy. And I can remember, and y'all, I know both y'all remember when Trump was president, our country was feared.
Yes.
Which is what look. Everybody talks about USA this, USA that. If we're not feared, the world's in a mess, because we are the shining beacon on the hill of a constitutional republic. That's what we are.
That's right.
We are the shining beacon with that flag behind you, Lawrence. That is what the USA stands for. And when we're feared, the world's in a better place. Russia ain't all up in Ukraine's business, killing innocent civilians. We ain't got Hamas slaughtering babies and women in the streets and nobody doing anything about it, because everybody's afraid of the U.S. If we do this, the great United States is going to come over here and mollywop us.
Right.
Okay? That's what we had under Trump. We don't have that now. We have a blooming idiot in Joe Biden, and I hate even saying his name because it's so embarrassing, that's run this country into the ground. They're doing as much damage as possible because they're padding their pockets, which has been proven. We're not making that up. We know that for a fact. He's pushing this transgender ideology. He's asleep at the wheel. We all know he's not making decisions. Somebody else is. But I say that to say this. Your local elections are important. Your state elections are just as important as the national elections.
Absolutely.
Some would say even more important.
I would think it's even more
than the national elections, because your county executive, your sheriff, your state representative, your state senator, your congressman, all those are extremely influential positions when they're making decisions for you at home, and you have to be paying attention to what these folks are doing. And I'm not calling anybody out when I say that, but what I'm saying is if we have a 2020 round two, and I've said this, I've beat this drum for 2 years, we got lazy. That's why we lost. I'm not saying there wasn't any election fraud that happened. We know there's been. We've seen that report that come out from Arizona, and I didn't read the whole thing, but they were saying the Lake girl,
Carrie
Lake, was talking about, hey, my opponent over here, she's doing this. She's keeping people from voting. This is happening over here. It's come out to be true. We know that's happened. But the problem is, and what folks don't realize, is we got comfortable with Trump because things were so good. We were so blessed to have him, I think. Gas was low, groceries low, inflation was low, the mortgage rates were great, people were buying homes.
The
it
border
was
was
awesome.
getting
Border
secured.
was secured, military was strong, recruiting was go down the list. Everything was fantastic.
Everything was at an all-time high.
All-time high. Economy was booming. But instead of sitting at the house and not going to vote, you know who I'm talking to, not wanting to participate in poll watching, not encouraging your swing voters to go vote, not telling your neighbor to go vote, not making calls in Georgia and Pennsylvania and Florida and Arizona and Wisconsin and Michigan. We can keep going. We have to do that to win, because not every state is blessed like Tennessee is. Tennessee's going to be Republican until, Lord, I hope till I'm dead and gone and forever and ever, amen, until something changes.
Listen, I hope you're 100% correct.
But, and I'm not saying we need to be comfortable here. That's not what I'm saying on state, but I'm talking about the presidency. You have got to get involved with your local and state party. It takes 5 minutes. I can get you, Chris, Lawrence, anybody, we can get y'all together with your local party. You can make phone calls to swing states. They will quite literally pay you. I know people that went to the state of Georgia when Herschel Walker was running and made $40 an hour knocking doors. That's all you had to do. They paid for your hotel, they paid for your food,
eats.
they paid for your gas, and you got paid $40 an hour to knock doors. That's pretty good. I'm just going to be honest.
Yeah.
For knocking doors.
The only thing is,
just pretty good. Yeah. I mean,
you'd had to have full body armor in Atlanta to knock.
yeah. Well, they back before I was running, they asked me to go down there, and I said, I can probably go to Calhoun, Georgia, or something. I probably don't need to go to Atlanta.
Go to Ackworth or Calhoun
somewhere. But you can make phone calls sitting at home, folks. We can send you all that information. You can make phone calls. You can send emails. We've got to get involved. So, after that tangent's over, let me back up to the state level.
Uh-oh. Hold on.
We're going back
Deep
on
breath. Deep breath. He's
down
taking
here
a
to the
deep
state
breath
level.
there.
Here we go. We're going to have some folks that retire, more than likely. I don't know who they are right now. We're going to have some folks that retire. We're going to have some folks that get primaried. We're going to have some folks that, have a contested general. We've got some guys in the House that are in some 51%, seats. We got some guys that are in 50-50 seats. You need to get involved in those too. If you want to, you need to get involved in those too, because we've got to keep a Republican majority, supermajority, may I add, 75 Republicans in the House, and a Republican supermajority in the Senate as well. You got to get involved, folks. You got to get involved. There's no other option.
That's the key.
You have to be involved, because if you don't, kind of like what we're dealing with on the national level right now, we are headed for a mess. We're headed for a mess. It's pitiful. They're coming for you and your family. Now, whether you want to wake up and realize that, that's on you.
I love this cliche that everybody says, well, it's not affecting me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Nah.
How can nobody? I'm sorry, but my grocery bill is literally up 80% in the last 2.5 years.
Yep.
Well,
my grocery bill has gone up. I'm not exaggerating that.
the cost
80%.
of living has gone up an average of $484 a month. That don't mean that everybody's is $484. Some people's is going to be $2,000 a month.
Right.
And this interest rate.
Yeah.
Do y'all love these interest rates going up?
Look at the FHA
They've
loans.
gone up
are,
on your
at 7.8%?
Yeah, they've
on
gone
FHA
up
loan.
on the FHA loan. They've gone up on the ARMs.
Terrible.
Annual rate adjustable mortgage. They've gone up on credit cards.
Yeah.
And listen, if your rate has jumped and you've got an adjustable mortgage rate,
you're in trouble.
you're in trouble. I'm telling you, you're in trouble.
Yep.
And it's going to make 2008 look like
2007 and 8 look
You
like
thought
peanuts.
that bubble pop then was bad. You just wait.
You haven't seen anything yet. I'm going to tell you.
Just wait.
I tell you another thing too, and people don't pay attention to this, but the U.S. credit rating, Moody's just lowered it.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you something that hurts, because that's going to mean more and higher interest rates.
Or interest rate.
But here's the thing: you have to understand, inflation happens due to the economy and due to the government's debt.
Yes, sir.
Government's debt plus interest rates equal inflation.
Yep.
What's looming, y'all?
Oh, there's a lot looming.
What's looming? That we've got to kick the can down the road.
Oh, well, you're talking about Mike Johnson having this fight right now, but I'm going to take it even a step further. We have right now in the next 10 months, and I'm going to go on the low side, but we have about 30% of this 30-something trillion dollars that is going to come due that's going to have to be refinanced. Now, this happens all the time, so don't think it's just coming up now.
So 30% of
we're talking about $10 trillion.
About $9 trillion, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's about 10 trillion actually. It's going to be because it's 30 to 40%, and I'm going to the lower end of 30%.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what is that going to do? And I'm going to tell you something based upon interest rates right now. Already our interest rates, and I didn't think I would see this, and I heard it talked about in the 90s, but we're paying more on our interest right now than what we're paying for our national defense at a time when we have neocons right now on both the Republican and the Democrat that's calling for war. You know,
World War III
on two different fronts, by the way.
Right, on two different, and it could be three.
Yeah, it could be three. Yeah.
You know, and let's you want to talk about that. You know, look at what's going on with Israel right now. I'm going to tell you something. You know, that old saying, our chickens are going to come home to roost.
They are.
Well, having wide open borders, and you have all of these people in our country right now just waiting for a systematic attack. And it's not just me. You know, I've been talking about this, you know, for the last couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. But people, go look, even it's out in the mainstream now. And I didn't realize that. I really don't, because I really don't pay attention to media.
Mainstream media.
Yeah, but I watched a couple of things on Fox and everything else. And you got people talking about how we are sitting on a powder keg where we're going to be attacked, not only physically, but also cyber attacks. You know, our friend, Kip don't know him as well as me and you do, but Jim Barth. Jim Barth said, and he does a lot with computers.
Shout out to Jim Barth, Restore Liberty.
Yeah, with Restore Liberty. Jim Barth was telling me that last week, their cyber attacks that he has to deal with went up over 300%.
300% in 1 week.
In 1 week. So, that's the fight that he's fighting. So imagine that's just him on what servers that he's working on.
Let me tell you something that I was told this morning. This is a person with MD Anderson. And y'all are familiar with MD Anderson.
Yeah, the accounting firm, yeah.
No.
No?
I said that wrong. You are correct. John Hopkins.
Okay.
I apologize.
Yeah, I was about to say,
in the medical.
Might be another one. Didn't know. Yeah.
But sorry about that. I get so mad thinking about these things. I know you're boiling because I can feel the heat radiating off of you. But when Trump was president, he was telling me this. There was Chinese nationalists in their lab stealing their data to carry back to China, and they were posing as they were friendly Americans. Come to find out there was 15 of them. And Trump shipped their rear ends out of here. Biden's welcome. That administration is welcome them in. I'll get it out here in a second. But this is not funny, folks. Mm-hmm. We've got them everywhere. Think about that they caught these people in 2018 stealing our data.
So I'm going to take something even else. I don't know if you guys have seen this because the media's been trying to hide this, but we had a massive fire underneath I-10 in Los Angeles, California. They're keeping it quiet.
That's why the interstate's been closed.
That's correct. They have closed it indefinitely.
Oh,
now, yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes, it was a fire so bad that it burnt bricks. It burnt concrete.
The sucker was rolling.
So how do you get a fire like that? So here's the conspiracy theorist in me.
That had to be pretty hot.
Where'd that ammonium nitrate go to?
Listen, I'm just telling you.
That had to be a pretty hot fire.
How do you get a fire that hot that you have melted the guardrails? The guardrails completely melted. You can go look at it on TV, and up the walls and the columns are burnt, and pieces of concrete is missing even from the burning. How does that happen? And they're like, oh, well, we don't know how this happened. Now, in Los Angeles, same place. Now, you got to understand this. The largest port in the world for America is in Los Angeles.
Shipping port.
That's right. How do you think that's going to affect us getting food and getting everything else when they have closed it down? Here's the other thing that's kind of interesting. And this fire happened on Sunday. And today, we had Raytheon in Los Angeles had to shut down their complex because of Hamas protesters. Pro-Hamas, pro-Gaza, pro-Palestine are shutting down Raytheon in Los Angeles on the next day. Call me conspiracy theorist, but you know what? Where there's smoke,
there's fire.
There's fire. And we had all this happen, and we have our government is saying nothing about how this fire started. They're saying, this is what they're saying. They're saying that where it started at was from burning of wood. It was for pallets. It was places where pallets stored. I'm sorry. I've burned wood before.
And pallets.
You cannot get a fire that hot burning pallets. I don't care how many pallets you have. There's something else there they're not telling us, and it's closing down our ports, and it's going to make getting things shipping. It's going to cost our shipping big time.
Right. But it's going to escalate cost on everything again.
It's going. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not looking at cost as much as I'm looking at, are you going to be able to get it?
Are you going to be able to get it? Yeah.
Are you
shortages again?
Are you going to be able to go to Walmart and get your ding dongs and ho hos? You know, and your
Don't
Twinkies.
Take away my Twinkies.
I'm about to say, we both got. All three of us have body by Twinkie. Don't
That's
we?
right. That's exactly right.
I always said this is body by junk food.
But you think about it. There's New Orleans with a large port.
Yes.
Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Miami.
New York.
And New York. But
Los Angeles is the main one, though.
It's the main one. I agree with you. Seattle's another one.
Yep. So California's got a couple.
Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt
you're fine.
you.
You're not interrupting me.
But last week we had pro-Hamas protesters shut down the port in Washington also.
Right. That is correct. That's one of the things you took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But you're fine. We bounce off each other. Y'all, this is raw.
Yes, sir.
There's no pre-planning.
No.
But, we also had Hamas at the White House. Now, here is our government, and this really ticks me off.
Come on.
When we got people in prison for January the 6th, it wasn't even there.
Still in prison.
Hadn't even had their trial yet.
And
they've done nothing about people climbing the fence
at the
White House. I'm going to tell you something. If me, you, or Kip was climbing the fence at the White House, I don't think we make it down alive.
No, we'd be dead. They'd have shot all three of us.
They would have shot all three of us.
We'd have been graveyard dead.
The thing about this is then here comes the Democrats, the jackasses.
That's right.
Here they come, and they said they're practicing their First Amendment right. How do we in the hell even know if they were illegal?
Yeah.
If they were legal?
Yeah.
We don't. They're probably all 90% of them illegal.
It doesn't matter if you're going to protest evil. Okay, I don't care if you're legal or not legal. Hamas. Hamas has already came out. Everybody's saying Jews have got to cease fire. We got to cease fire. Okay, but Hamas, they will tell you we have to kill all the Jews. How can you cease fire when they don't even want you to exist? We have people in our House of Representative Tlaib, that is calling for the destruction of Israel.
Yep.
She needs to be gone.
She needs to go back to Palestine where they belong.
Palestine immediately.
Yes.
You know that heifer?
You know what? I'm going to tell you something.
I'm being nice.
It is.
Hey, I'm going to tell you something. Everybody wants to they want to try to compare Hamas to Germany. So I want to compare Hamas to Nazis, okay? Can you give me a minute?
Do it.
Yeah.
All right. Let's compare Hamas to the Germans. Hamas, when they're going around and they're killing these Jews, they are celebrating it.
Yeah.
They had a woman that they beat, they raped, they cut off her head, and they are desecrating the body. They are celebrating, and these weren't all Hamas people. These are all the people in Gaza Strip and of Palestine.
This was this 22-year-old, right?
That was this 22-year-old woman
parading the body through the streets.
Yes. So I'm going to tell you something. Say what you will about the Nazis, but the Nazis, you know what? Here's the main difference between Hamas and the Nazis. The Nazis, for the most part, were ashamed of what they did. These
Had
people,
remorse.
They not only did they have remorse, but these people hid even what they did.
Yeah, I mean,
they knew what they were doing
They
was wrong.
didn't parade.
You can look at the journals of after the war was over of when the main German army found out about the concentration camps, because a large portion of the Nazi regime had no idea what was going. Well, I don't want to say a large portion. A good chunk of them didn't know. And you can look through the journals, and they're just weeping, sobbing, just remorse was just through the pages of just how could we have done this? They had no idea.
But you know what? But see, that's
Not
the difference.
justifying that, but
I
I'm
just
just
want to I just want to show you the difference. This is how much evil that is being unleashed in the earth today,
Oh, yeah.
and being unleashed over in Israel. If you don't think we're in end times, people, you need to wake up and you need to get to another church if they're not preaching this to you. If the only thing you're hearing is from me and Kip and Chris and Brandon telling you this stuff, you need to find another church. I'm sorry, but I'm going to put it out there, because the evil that these people are perpetuating, Hamas is doing, they are gleefully celebrating this.
They're quite literally parading dead bodies of women and children through the streets.
And then last night on the World News, when it came out at 5:30, here's the French Prime Minister coming out wanting ceasefire. He needs to shut up.
They all need to shut up, because here's the thing. If somebody came into your house and did what they did
To your people, your family.
My family, right. Do you think I could tell you, oh, Chris, stop, you can't do that?
Yes, it's a ceasefire.
I'm going to be over there helping you, is what I'm going to do. And we're going to sit there and tell them to cease fire. I'm telling you, everybody, we have discussed this. This is Psalm 83. Psalm 83 has opened up. It has started.
Hamlet.
Yes. And I am looking at this, but I hate how the media sits there and they try to compare.
They put their spin on it.
They put their spin. They're trying to compare Hamas to Nazis. And I'm going to tell you something. I am not defending Nazis. Do you hear me? We are not defending Nazis at all.
No, we're not.
But you cannot compare people that were ashamed and hid
Most
what
of
they
them.
did.
Yep.
Okay, compared to the people that are calling up their parents going, Mom, Dad, I killed 10 Jews. Put Mom on the phone so I can tell her. And you have these people celebrating in the streets.
Quite literally.
When this is happening.
And they're celebrating right here in our streets.
They are celebrating in our streets. Here's the other thing. People say, all those innocent people, okay, yes, are innocent people dying? They
Yes.
are. But here's what people don't understand. 80% voted for Hamas. Okay? 80% voted for Hamas. Okay, so we have 20%. Okay? Listen, it's like people that are coming from California to Tennessee, or people coming from Michigan or New York to Tennessee. They see the writing on the wall. They are getting out. The only thing I ask is, do not bring your politics that was there down to here.
Do not California my Tennessee.
No, But I ran into a guy this weekend. He goes, and we're in a group of people. He goes, yeah, he says, I just moved down from Michigan. And I looked at him and I said, welcome to America. And he started laughing, when I said that, because it's true. This is Michigan. I mean, and I'm having to tell this man, welcome to America, because they have this. That's Talib up there.
Talib, she's the reason she even got elected was because of the whatever her in Afghani, Pakistan, whatever they are.
She's Palestinian.
Palestinian. Their communities, the Palestinian communities, moved into her district, and that's how she won.
Well,
because the
You
Palestinian.
got Gretchen Whitmer,
You got Gretchen Whitmer. I mean,
that governor.
my gosh, that supposedly was going to be kidnapped when we found out that the FBI was involved in that. I mean, please, whoever would kidnap her, they'd turn her loose in a matter of hours. I mean, my gosh, I can't stand to look at this. I can't stand to listen to this.
This
woman
is
talk.
the same woman that even passed.
Lawrence has said she is not worth kidnapping, folks.
No.
She's not worth it. That's pretty funny.
This is
Not
just
worth
like
it.
when the COVID was out in Michigan and people wanted to get out on Lake Michigan. She even passed a law to where you couldn't even get out on your boat, but she could.
Oh yeah, her husband went, and
Yeah.
poor fella. Gosh,
Same way with-
you gotta feel sorry for that dude.
Same way with that witch Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah,
He and her
know,
husband, that's a whole different
They
deal.
shut down
man.
all the beauty shops and everything, and then what'd she do? Go get her hair fixed.
And then what
I wanna know how-
what her husband do? Get caught with a man.
Whoa, hello.
How do you
Weird.
make 187, 217? Let's just say $200,000 a year doing your job, but yet you're worth over $100 million.
I don't know.
How does that happen,
I
Kip?
don't know. I wish I
It's
knew.
called
I'm waiting on
lining
that
of the
check.
pockets.
I don't know.
You're not getting that paycheck,
No,
are
I
you?
hadn't got that one yet. No, I'm waiting on
there's
that one.
people who get paid out and get bought. And it's right here in Tennessee. Don't let it.
Oh, I know it is. I know it is.
Let's don't act like this is a California problem or a New York
No,
problem.
it's
a Tennessee problem
is.
as well.
It's an America problem.
Folks,
is
go
what we
look
are.
who takes money from certain groups, and I'm talking about good folk. I mean, well, let me back up. We got certain, even in our camp, Republicans taking money.
Listen, I said it on our radio program Wednesday, if people didn't hear this. But, Kip, you are highly underpaid. You have a full-time job. If you do it properly, it's even more than a full-time job.
Yeah, it's all
they
the time.
expect you to do your full-time job to your constituents like it's supposed to be
Yeah.
on that salary that you cannot exist on.
It's
And you know-
poverty.
Yeah, it is, and that needs to change. I'm sorry, it needs to change, and it doesn't need to change. I'm going to go there. I'm not even looking at it because of you. I'm not even looking at it because Clay Doggett or Joey Hensley. I'm looking at it as people. If you have a living wage, you're less likely to be on the take at that point because you have a job that you are making a good set of salary for, and you're not going to have to go in and try to supplement.
Let me crank it up just a little bit.
Am I
Yeah,
right?
you're-
Kip, or
no, I
not?
mean, that's a good train of thinking for
The
sure.
13th
That is.
Amendment.
Yes.
Let me get over here to these amendments.
Okay, while you're doing that,
Hey, bringing out the pocket constitution,
yeah,
folks.
we are. But I just want to bring that up because I know. See, everybody wants to say, "Oh, well, you can't say it," or nobody else can say it because, oh, you're just trying to pay yourself more money. But no, if you are paid a decent wage, if other people are paid decent wages, you're less likely to have a lobbyist come up and will sway your vote because of you have a living wage. You are the exception. That's the reason I'm here standing in front of you, and I believe in you.
I appreciate that.
But
Yeah.
you know what? It needs to change.
People don't realize the amount of effort that myself, Doggett, Warner, Page, Hensley, just talking about not just us, but across the state. I'm just talking about
everybody.
the ones in our area.
Yeah.
I mean, it's and I'm not complaining when I say this at all. I love doing it. If I didn't love doing it, I wouldn't do it.
That's right.
But it's a lot of effort. I mean, and us rural guys have it, I think, in my opinion, us rural guys are a little bit more busy than some of the other folks because,
You got to drive a long ways to get to 70,000
well, and you
people.
look at Wayne County or even Lawrence County or some more, even Murray. The average income around here it's not very high, and most folks they rely on the state, especially when they need help. They're like, hey, we need our state government to chip in. And when you have a more modernized area like Franklin or like Knoxville or Davidson or whatever, Clarksville, they got the city that kind of supplements a lot of that too, where it's more developed. But when you get in the rural areas, you got somebody that lives in Lutz.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody to help them.
Where's that at?
Yeah.
It's spelled
That's
Lutz,
South
but
End.
they call it Lutz.
South End, Wayne County. Ain't nobody to help them down there other than the Wayne County government and state of Tennessee.
Well,
That's
you
it.
you take driving from Cypress in Wayne County to Clifton, you got over an hour.
Yeah. Oh,
You know,
I've
that's
done it a
big.
bunch. Yes, sir.
I think Wayne County is the second
Done it a long
largest
time.
landmass
Outside of
county in the
Shelby.
state, outside of Shelby.
Yep.
So,
It's huge. Massive.
carry it down to the SEC. you know what we're compensated?
Nothing.
Nothing. You got to do it for the love of your people.
Hey, you get a couple you get a couple belly rubs.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all he gets is a belly rub, maybe. But a lot of times he's getting kicked in the butt.
That's exactly right.
Chris is getting kicked in the butt because he goes against the grain.
He does. He does. He does a great job.
Y'all have brought this up, and we'll get back to what I was going to talk about. But this is where problems have occurred. We'll get to that in a second. But let me tell you, Friday, I went to a great friend's funeral. The guy that you've heard me talk about was in law enforcement nearly 52 years, passed away. Went up to Hendersonville for his funeral. Had to get back to Fayetteville to be set up for, I had a booth at their Host of Christmas Pass. Mm-hmm. Was over there all day Saturday. My phone is blowing up constantly with one of the counties that I represent, that Joy Hensley represents, with a problem. Mm-hmm. And it started Friday night, carried into Saturday. I did everything and thought I had to answer, but I want the backing of the state. And thank God our state party chair was available Saturday, and we talked about it. But we've got problems so internal that you deal with so many headaches. But our problem as Republicans is being a Republican. Mm-hmm. You hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Our problem is being a Republican.
Sure.
We got too many people that major on a minor. Mm-hmm. And they're trying to bring so much division between true, good Republicans.
That's exactly right.
And they're trying to get out here and be spinoffs.
Oh, gosh.
And it is utterly a mess. Murray County, you hear me? Marshall County, Williamson County. I'm talking to y'all directly. Mm-hmm. We've got these past parties, county executive committees.
Come on.
That have been voted out.
Come on.
Other people been voted in, and they're crying over spilt milk, and they're creating division. And we're going to create so much division, we're going to elect some Democrats if we're not careful.
That's the problem that people don't realize when we talk about it. You know, when we call somebody a rhino, right? RINO stands for Republican in name only. Now, that's not just us talking about slinging mud on Republicans that we don't like.
No.
As a Republican, if you run with we almost went with a dirty word there, with a R by your name, you are expected to be a Republican. You're expected to follow the Republican platform. Now, whatever you do off the side of that is something completely different. But I have certain expectations. When Lawrence, when Chris, when Jim Bob down the road down there comes up to me and tells me that he's a Republican, and I have certain expectations when you say that. When you say you're a Republican, now I'm a conservative because the way I read the Republican philosophy, to me, yes, sir, the way I read it, conservative. Boom, 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 boom. That's how I read it. If you divvy off of that, that's your own prerogative, but you're supposed to be a Republican. We got a lot of folks up there that are Republican in that, and I'm talking about in Nashville, I'm talking about in D.C., that are Republican in name only because they're Republicans when it's convenient for them. When they're back home, they're lying to their constituents. They're beating the same drum that they beat for 10-plus years, and their folks keep drinking the same amount of Kool-Aid that they've drank since they've elected them, and they go up there and they don't do a damn thing for you. That's exactly what happens. Yep. They do the exact same thing year after year after year, and they keep drinking the Kool-Aid. Now, I'm going to tell you something else. Now we're going on another tangent. The second thing, Republicans fight with each other more than we fight the Democrats.
We do.
100%. I don't care what nobody says. I don't go, oh, well, we don't like the Democrats. No, we hate Republicans. I'm talking about the Republican Party as a whole.
Republicans hate Republicans.
More than we hate Democrats. 100%. There is zero doubt in my mind. It makes me so mad when I hear of these spin off this, and this group said that, and that group's doing this. Well, I don't like this person, and I don't like that person. And you're exactly right. If we keep on this path that we're doing right now, you're going to lose Republican seats because you're too caught up in your own drama, in the he said, she said stuff, instead of actually taking a look, putting a little bit of effort out there into your candidate and saying, hey, this guy, he's not really pro-life. I don't know if he's a Republican. Or, this guy right here, I didn't really like what he said about the Second Amendment. I'm kind of thinking he's not a Republican. That's okay. That's the difference between a Republican and a Democrat. You're supposed to follow the party platform. If the party fails you, then you bounce back to being it. Well, really, you could Christian, conservative, Republican, but you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
We cannot have any more division as a party because we're going to start electing Democrats, folks. I'm telling you.
Here's the thing that I want to get out here real quick. With these former elected county executive committee, as we call it in the Republican Party, because they start calling each other names, they start pinning people. This person's a libertarian. This person's not really a Republican. Well, let me tell you, a lot of these people that have opened their mouth, I've done a little digging. And, when you were voting for Barack Obama not once but twice.
Oh, Lord.
And you ran as a Democrat against a Republican state senator, I got a big problem with that, for you to just automatically say I'm a Republican.
Well, you know what? We had this happen in our county back in 2022 on some of the local races. The Democrats all of a sudden became independent, and they started saying, what we need to do here, we don't need to have partisan elections here because it wasn't convenient for them, because for 50 years prior, the Democrats controlled this county. Okay, now all of a sudden,
Wayne and Giles.
Yeah,
well, more so in Giles and Lawrence.
Yeah, but now it became out of vogue to be a Democrat. Well, I'm not a Democrat. We got to run as independent. I say all that to say this. I'm breaking it down. You've heard me tell you this, Kip. If you will defend our Constitution, okay, I can get behind you and we can have some disagreements, but I am not going to bury you. I'm not going to throw you away. I'm not going to primary you.
As long as you're following
long as you're following the Constitution. We can have good, heated debates, and we can leave friends. We can go out and have dinner and everything.
Have a beer if we want to.
That's correct. But it should start and end with this Constitution.
It should.
If you do not stand for this Constitution, then you are not a Republican.
You're going to fall for anything.
Okay? If you are for homosexual marriage, you are not a Republican. If you are for abortion, you are not a Republican. God love you. Go become an independent. Go become a Democrat. But do not sit here and say because it is in vogue to be a Republican, you're a Republican. I am a Republican only because there's nothing else for me to be.
We don't have any other option.
You're talking about...
See, I've read the platform, unlike most people, and if we would hold our elected officials to that platform,
there you go.
Okay, then we would have Republicans. We would not have any more... I almost said it.
Reprobates.
No, reprobates. No,
I was going to get a little worse.
I know. We're trying to back off.
Yeah,
we're
backing
good.
off.
We're good.
Breathe.
Your radiator is steaming.
That's right. We would have Republicans if they will just follow the Republican platform.
And it's not hard. I promise
you.
It's not hard.
And if you don't agree with it, then by God, don't put Republican by your name.
It's not hard. If you don't agree with the platform, don't run as a Republican.
Agree.
So,
pretty easy.
And it's simple, but you know what I'm going through in other counties.
I know.
I mean, there's a county that, and they listen to us. Some of these people in this county, I don't want to mention them by name.
God love you.
Okay, but they lost 3/4 of their CEC. Okay, which is their for people who don't know, it's their party chairman for their county.
Republican Party officials.
The Republican Party officials for the county. They lost 3/4 of them due to fighting over $400 over tables and chairs. I want you to think about that. And here's the thing. It wasn't like this county had $500 in their account. Okay? They had thousands in this war chest. It was a war chest, in my opinion, compared to what we have. Compared to what we have here, it was a war chest. And they're fighting over that. I wanted to have some good news. We got to have some good news. Okay, we got 6 minutes. Oh my gosh, this time flies.
Hey, before you give the good news, I was just going to say, and I was wrong on the amendment, and I will have it, and I will get it correct. There's one of the amendments where it was in there and it got removed that we did not want professional attorneys as our lawmakers.
Right.
And that was originally supposed to be in the Constitution. And I will dig deep off into it. I know a guy that can help me tremendously with this.
Yeah.
But what we have done is we have elected not only on the national level, but on the local level, we're electing too many doggone attorneys to represent us.
You mean the people that sit there and they'll look you in the eye and say what the definition of is?
Is.
I can't stand that either. But you know what? I tell you, this is kind of funny, but you do not have to be an attorney to be a judge even.
I'd heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, do you know how many handles are on an attorney's casket?
2.
Oh, Lord.
Where we can take a trash out.
That's right.
We got to have a little fun.
Shout out to attorneys.
Shout out to our
There's
attorneys.
a lot of them we still love.
God, love them.
But anyway, it's all in.
Hey, you never know who's going to get a shot thrown at him on this show,
Yeah,
son.
that's right. But
So-
go ahead with the good news.
Pistol brace ban
Yes.
Yes, sir.
has been lifted by the Fifth Circuit Court
of Appeals.
No ATF go pound sand.
That's right, baby. We'll see you on that.
Now, what are we going to do? The light went on. One of these judges have ruled that AR-15s were not in the Second Amendment.
Oh, that was
What an
his,
idiot! That's his opinion.
It was an opinion. It wasn't even based upon a law or anything else. This is just some dude that's running his mouth that doesn't understand guns. Period. End of story. But I'm going to tell you something. It's going to get worse because with Bruin now, with the Bruin ruling, I'm going to tell you, you're liable to see most things that are going to be taken away, and we're going to get a lot more gun freaks.
2A is looking good, folks.
Yeah,
I'm going to tell
It's
you.
almost where it needs to be.
Tennessee needs to be able to carry long guns. Remember
We're
that.
working on that one too.
Yep.
All of the legislators that listen.
Yeah,
we
we're
need to get that
going
fixed.
to have Paige in here next week. I think Paige Wally's coming in with us next week
on Monday.
Yeah,
Good.
So we're going to talk to Paige about on the Senate side and Big Joey Hensley on the
Joey,
Senate
baby.
side. We're going to have to get them to work on that too as well.
Yep.
So we need to have a true Second Amendment in Tennessee.
Yep.
We really do.
Yep.
And we need to have a true 10th Amendment too.
Yeah. It's,
But hey, it's swinging down to the last
Lord have
4
mercy.
minutes.
Shout
3
out,
minutes.
shout out to Strikers one more time. Go to Strikers Steakhouse, get you something good to eat. I know they'll be glad to serve you. Go get you something for your family. Take it home. Excellent service, excellent food. Shout out to Strikers Steakhouse. Go to Kip Capley for State Representative on Facebook. Shoot me a follow, please, if you're enjoying the content. Kip Capley for State Representative on Facebook.
And like we said, folks, you're welcome to call in.
Yeah,
we'll
please
take
do.
your call.
We'll take your call.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We encourage your call.
Yeah, please do.
Go to Facebook,
Check
like
us out.
WDXC,
WLX.
Facebook page,
Yep.
and WLX. But also go to YouTube. Please put comments.
Yeah,
please
comment on
like.
stuff. Please do.
If you enjoy this show,
Let us know.
let us know.
Even if you don't like it, you'll learn to like it.
You'll learn to like
Yeah,
it.
just listen to it long enough and you'll
I know
fall in
we're-
love with
we-
it.
We'll say something that you'll laugh at.
Oh,
I know
eventually.
we
at
got
some
one
point,
Democrat in Lawrence County that gets bent out of shape every time we're on the air.
It's okay.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
okay.
that's part of
we
it.
might change it. The other thing here, just counting down with two minutes left, is ATF has sued Gun Owners of America.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, yeah, because Gun Owners of America is finding out that the ATF has admitted, and we have caught them admitting this at Harvard University, but it's even worse now with Gun Owners of America, that they are actually getting people's names, dates, times, places, and serial numbers of what guns people have bought. And they are actually saying that this is not a registry, it's just a database.
And they did that with Liberty Safe, by the way.
I mean, I want you to think about, do they really think we're that stupid? I mean, you're in government. Do they really think us people are this stupid, Kid?
Lawrence, unfortunately, I don't want to call most people stupid, but most people just don't pay attention.
That's right.
Right.
They're asleep at the wheel.
But you know what?
If you don't know, now you know.
You do know, and Gun Owners of America is going to win this, by the way.
Did change on us? We still up?
Yeah, we're still up.
We're still up.
We still got a minute
Good
left. Gun Owners is going to win this.
Absolutely.
Well, listen,
100%.
we want everybody, Kip, to tune in to the Lawrence
Please.
County Republican Party
Wednesday at 5 o'clock.
Yep.
5 o'clock,
6.
5 to 6,
5
and
to
Free
6.
Speech News
Free
on
Speech News
Friday,
on
5 to
Friday.
6.
Tune
We
in.
may have a special state representative in the House.
Uh-oh.
Other
You
than
never know.
Kip.
You never know.
You never know.
You
who's
never
What about
coming in.
Clay?
Well, we can keep guessing.
We can keep guessing. Okay, well, I'll keep guessing.
We're looking forward to it.
I thought we were going to promote those Tennessee candy bars that
man,
Clay.
they got him. I got him at the Giles County Republican meeting Thursday night. He didn't know what to say. He got an egg on his face.
Yeah.
Clay Doggett Candy Bar Company. Shout out to Clay.
All right.
Well, listen. God bless everybody.
God bless y'all. Please tune in next week, 5 o'clock. Special guest, Paige Wally.
God bless everybody.
God bless y'all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.